Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very exciting session on next. We have something we've touched on a few times over the last 2 days in terms of presentations, all around geolocation. But we've actually got a great session for you now, which is all about how geo-behavioural data matters. And to bring us up in speed into that area is Andrea Campana, who is the CEO of Beintoo, and also Paola Sagesi, Media Director for Southern Sea Unilever. Please come to the stage.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thanks so much for staying for this last session of the morning. I'm Andrea Campana, CEO of Beintoo. Together with me, Paola Sagesi, Media Director at Southern Europe and Central Eastern Europe. So, the clicker. So, as you know, we're going to talk briefly about how to leverage mobile data to bring to success your online campaign, starting with some data about mobile usage. We know everyone how much smartphones are in our hands. Every day, a recent Discount research reported we do an average of 72 sessions per day with a smartphone. With session, we mean at least 2 minutes interaction with the smartphone. That makes 2 to 3 hours a day with the smartphone in our hands that we use to search information online, to connect with friends, colleagues, to check weather forecasting, take pictures, listen to music. That means that all the platforms that are delivering this kind of service collect a lot of data, digital data about what you do online. But of course, smartphones are portable devices by definition. It means we use a smartphone also when we need some specific information and we are in our offline lives. We're talking about calling a taxi, checking opening hours of stores, price comparison while we are in a store, checking the traffic on the way home. All this kind of information are actually more offline data rather than online data we can collect thanks to smartphone. For this reason, when we talk with our clients, try to explain how smartphone is actually a bridge between the offline and the online customer experience. And which kind of data are the most peculiar data that we can get from a smartphone? Of course, geolocation data. And you can easily think about geolocation in terms of where is the user I'm trying to engage with right now, thanks to the ad. That is asynchronous data, but we can also track where the user spent most of their time where they are offline. So how many times each user visit a gym or visit a fast food? Is it the customer actually playing golf because we can see them at a golf course? Is it the customer visiting an airport every Monday morning for 1 hour? So asynchronous data that can be collected and used to optimize advertising campaign are actually one of the most relevant we can get from customer. So we can measure and we offer to our clients this kind of information, basically tracking with our technology where users spent their time during the week and creating cluster of geo-behavioural people, so people that has got the same behavior in the real life. And of course, on top of that, we can also consider to deliver a specific campaign or at least customize the campaign that can be nationwide based on the instant location of the user. This is quite useful if you just want to contact customers that are in a specific area because your product is distributed just in some cities, but also if you want to target a customer that is experiencing a specific moment, I don't know, in a stadium, in a gym, at the airport, and you want to deliver a dedicated message based on the location of the customer. I will try to be very fast, so I'm letting Paola introduce a couple of experience they did with our technology.
Okay, thanks a lot for remaining here without food. I know that the time is going, so we will be very short. I've been invited by Beintoo. This is a project we have developed together. I'm from Unilever. I'm responsible for media. I'm here to bring the voice of the advertisers. I've heard many, many times the word contents. I've heard many, many times words like data. And I want to bring here a piece of experience that we had at Unilever from a business perspective, okay? Because sometimes we think that we can land a communication across the country and people react the same way. That is not exactly the same. And finally, the interest of the advertiser is to drive sales. And we are not very interested only in the content and in the data, but we need to drive sales. And what a business normally asks me is this, to drive sales via communication. So we did some study, and we have discovered, mainly in Italy because I follow also other countries, but in this country, that the penetration of our brands is different in different regions because the structure of this country is different. The concentration of our target is different. The concentration of some specific communication target is different. And so the results from a business perspective can be different in the different regions that compose this country. So you are aware about Tuscany or Piemonte or Veneto because there is good food and monuments there. But from my perspective, there are also different target audience. And so we have learned is that we need to disrupt a little bit the paradigm, and we cannot only communicate at national level, but we have to work locally, following the consumers where they are. Also because we work and we sell our products in many different channels, bars, retail, pharmacy, and for us it's very important to understand where they are close to the point of sales, and we need to drive the right choice. So the idea that we landed, we had an ice cream brand in Italy the name is Cornetto. It's not very famous for all of you. And we had the contest we would like to land, and we worked to Beintoo to communicate a specific communication only in some region that we had specific business targets, okay? And so we have, using very geo-behavioural approach, we could understand how many times we could select targets that goes to the bar, that goes to the leisure park or whatever. So on the base of their behavior, we addressed them a communication. And the results has been amazing because we have doubled the click-through rate. So from a measurement point of view, we had a very strong reaction. But what we learned more than this, and we applied to another campaign, was the fact that in different regions, people react differently to the communication. So we knew now in which region we can address some kind of messages and they can react better to drive trial, to drive awareness, or whatever. So we did another exercise with another brand. It was a Fabcom brand that we have in Italy. We developed the campaign also with Beintoo, also from a creative perspective. And it worked as well. So it seems that from an home care brand to an ice cream brand, considering the target not as a whole, but really understanding where we have to address the right message in the right place, and knowing also that the point of sales are not equally distributed across the country, but are selectively present in different places, we could work better to address our messages. And which is the best device to do it? For sure, mobile, because it's on the go. And so it's the closest thing that you will use, and is also the personal thing that you use, perhaps to look for something, for a product, and can create an impulse to buy. I think that from my side, it's all. Now Andrea will close.
Yeah, so we, at the end of the day, came out with this 4-pillar strategy. Of course, data. We talk about data quite a lot over the last 2 days. We wanted to stress the fact that on top of age and gender, that are the 2 most common data that usually brands and publishers leverage, there's also data coming from the offline experience, like geo-behavioural data. Then we haven't spoken that much about creativity, but it's important when delivering a message through the smartphone to consider the fact that it's not just an extension of the desktop creative, but it's a standalone, unique creative that uses all the peculiarities of the phone, including the geolocation. Then we ask our clients to customize not only the creative, but also, for example, the budget, the spend, how they actually plan, deliver the campaign based on the geolocation of their users. And finally, also consider how to include in the creative the information about, for example, the closest store to a specific brand when the user is taking a look to the message. The final idea we try to stress on is that, of course, if you are able to deliver a more contextualized message, the result is that your customer is happier, of course. So
we are in time, even
yeah,
if we are
very,
Italian,
very
that's
fast.
good. Time for food.
We do understand you are hungry. So if there is any question?
200. No?
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.